welcome back to another Teen Book Talk Tuesday. This is going to be our last spooky edition of Teen Book Talk Tuesday since Halloween is Saturday, so after that we'll switch to a different theme for the month. So today I'm going to talk about some of our scary young adult books. We talked a lot about some dark fantasy in the last Teen Book Talks that we've had, but now I'm going to tell you about some books that have to do with zombies. There's one that has to do with a Japanese legend ghost spirit, and then we have a couple of vampire series that I've read that I really enjoyed that I'll share with you guys today as well. And we have these at the library and they're available to check out, so you can always give us a call and place them on hold if you would like them. So this is the first trilogy that I'm going to tell you about, and this is a zombie trilogy and it's called Dust. And this one is by Joan Frances Turner. It's been a while since I've read this one, but I really enjoyed this zombie trilogy. And it's a little bit different than your typical zombie trilogy in the case that the zombies in these stories are becoming more human. And so that is kind of where the premise starts out at in this story. And it is a very creepy, very gory, very enjoyable young adult trilogy. Okay, the second one, and I haven't actually read this series, but Stacy here at the library, she really recommends this one. It's another zombie series. It's Rotten Ruin by Jonathan Mayberry. And she said this is another really creepy and gory zombie series because they literally rot away in this book. The zombies start falling apart and rotting away like typical zombies do. And this is a series, and we have this at the library as well. Next series is Zombie. Let's see, Zombie. And this series by Darren Shan. I read a little bit of this one. It's pretty good. If you like a little bit of graphics also, there are some graphics illustrations in this story. So that is another good one, and I'll read you a little bit of the synopsis. So Bee's father thinks it's a hoax, but even if it isn't, the two of them joke, it's only the Irish, right? That is until zombies actually attack the school. So, very good one as well. So those are our zombie series that I recommend to you. This next one, and this is I think we have the second book of this one, but it's The Girl from the Well. And this one is based on Japanese mythology. And this is a Japanese ghost spirit that is in this book, and she comes out of the well, as the title goes. If you have watched any of the Ring movies, horror movies, that's kind of a similar premise, because in those movies it's a Japanese spirit as well. So that's kind of where, you know, these stories actually get that from, is that Japanese myth. So this one was very good, very spooky, very creepy ghost story. So then we have a couple of zombie series. This one is the Vladimir Todd series by Heather Brewer. I really enjoyed this series. I read this back in middle school actually, but it was very enjoyable for teens as well. I think I was around 13 whenever I read this series. It's a five book series. We have them all here at the library. So Vladimir Todd starts out, 8th Grade Bites is the title of the first book. He's an 8th grade boy who is a vampire. He's actually a half vampire who is living with his aunt because his parents have died. So his aunt has been raising him. So he's just kind of figuring out life as a teen half vampire. So, and it's very enjoyable. This one's a short read. The books kind of get bigger as the series goes on, but they're quick reads, very easy to read, easy to follow, enjoyable, exciting books. And then lastly, this is one of my all-time favorite series. If you enjoy more magic in your vampire stories, not just, you know, bloodsucker vampires, but if you enjoy a little bit more spirituality, a little bit more lighter magic, a little bit more mythology in it, you should definitely read the House of Night series by PC Cast. This one is called Marked. It's book 1. There are 12 books in the series, and there are a few novellas as well, which are short books, and each one is based on a certain character from the series. And then she, of course, has another spin-off series following the same cast of characters. I haven't read those. I was always kind of true to the original series. I used to have all of the books myself. I really enjoyed these. I read them. I started reading them whenever I was in middle school, and I read them throughout high school until the first 12-part series ended. But this is a very good story. It's about Zoe Redbird. She is a fledgling vampire, which means that she's been chosen to become a full vampire. So what happened was she's in high school, and a random mysterious hooded stranger shows up and marks her with a crescent moon on her forehead. She starts to become ill. She starts feeling sick because she needs to be around a full vampire. So she goes to a school called the House of Night, where she learns to harness her gifts from this goddess Nyx from the series that she's been gifted with, and she basically just learns how to be a vampire, essentially. So this is really cool. There's a lot of spirituality in here that's based on a lot of mythology. So I really enjoyed this series. Each book is about the same length. Very quick and easy reads as well. Easy to follow, very relatable for teens because it goes through a lot of typical teen drama and issues that, we've all dealt with as teens. So this is an awesome series. PC Cast is just one of my favorite authors all around. Everything she's written, pretty much, I have enjoyed. I recommend the Moonchosen trilogy as well. That is a awesome series that she's been writing. And the Goddess Summoning series, which is a little bit more adult, the Goddess Summoning series. But that's also a good series as well. And then she has another new series out, which is about teens who have abilities to harness nature and weather, and that's also, I've heard, a really good book as well. Okay, so instead of a short story this week, I'm going to read a poem that is a very scary poem. I mean, it's not super scary, but it's creepy. It's called Little Orphant Annie by James Whitcomb Riley. Oh, and I'll turn down the lights for this one, so don't go away. Okay, I turned down the lights a little bit to make it spookier, so let's read Little Orphan Annie. Little orphan Annies come to my house to stay, to wash the cups and saucers up and brush the crumbs away, to shoo the chickens from the porch and dust the hearth and sweep, and make the fire and bake the bread to earn her board and keep. While all us other children, when the supper things is done, we sit around the kitchen fire and has the mostest fun, a-listening to the witch tales that Annie tells about, and the goblins will get ya if you don't watch out. Once there was a little boy who wouldn't say his prayers, and when he went to bed at night away upstairs, his mammy heard him holler and his daddy heard him bawl, and when they turned the covers down, he wasn't there at all. They searched him in the attic room and the cubbyhole and press, and even up the chimney flue and everywheres, I guess, but all they ever found of him was his pants and roundabouts, and the goblins will get ya if you don't watch out. Once there was a little girl who always laughed and grinned and made fun of everyone of all her blood and kin, and once when there was company and old folks was there, she mocked them and she shocked them and she said she didn't care. And just as she turned on her heels to go and run and hide, there was two great big black things a-standing by her side. They snatched her through the ceiling, for she knew what she's about, and the goblins will get ya if you don't watch out. When the night is dark and scary, and the moon is full, and creatures are flying, and the wind goes whoo, you better mind your parents and your teachers fond and dear, and cherish them that loves ya, and dry the orphan's tears, and help the poor and needy ones that cluster all about, or the goblins will get ya if you don't watch out. I hope you enjoyed that spooky poem, and I hope you enjoyed today's Teen Book Talk Tuesday. I hope you enjoyed our spooky edition this month. So stay tuned next Tuesday for a new theme of the month for November. So stay tuned.